Yeah, coming to you live. Exit 21's own Will D. Growing Up Hip Hop, New York. We'll Talk About It podcast. Also happen to be the oldest son of Flavor Flav, if you couldn't tell by the resemblance. You know what I'm saying? Right now, I'm here to talk about it. A Let's Talk About It radio show on 103.9 with OhGeniaBabe. Swaggy all the time. Quiet Storm. Blends. Can't forget to shout out Bosco. You heard? 103.9 family in the building. Let's talk about it.
All right, shout out to everyone that's tuned in. We got Roosevelt, Long Island own Mr. Will from the new reality show Growing Up in Hip Hop New York, aka the son of the legendary Flavor Flav.
Yeah.
Yes, baby. You know I had to come in correct with that introduction.
In the building. Exit 21, stand up.
You
Let's
already
go.
know. Bosco, baby. All right, listen, let's touch on strong topic real quick, Bosco.
No doubt. So strong topic is trolling a trend? Is it or not? Like, basically it has to do with the king of trolling. 50 Cent, he was originally a king of trolling.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like he was trolling Jim Jones and Freaky Zeke recently.
Yes.
And basically he was like, yo, I'm afraid for my life. And like Jim sounded off on it in his Breakfast Club interview. And basically Jim was like, yo, don't play around. Like, I don't do that.
And we know that 50 Cent is basically the biggest troller ever. And then you have the whole 6ix9ine situation, you know, who was the biggest. He was the newest 50 Cent when it came to his generation of trolling. So basically, it's trolling a trend. So to you, how do you feel about that, Will? Because I find you to be a very humble, laid back, not really into social media. You're more realistic. How do you feel about the whole trolling now being a big thing?
Well, you know what? I'm glad that you let off with that, because that's what I want the people to know about me first, that I'm laid back. I'm not into that trolling. I believe that is attention seeking. And don't get me wrong, it helps for people's brands.
No, it
helps for 6ix9ine tremendously. It helps for 50 tremendously. I mean, he's out there. It's promotion within itself.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? As long as you're getting that attention and the people are keeping their name, your name in their mouth, it's gonna work.
But I feel like when it starts becoming more like, you know, 50 Cent and Jim Jones always joke. They were the bigger jokester. Even though Jim Jones comes off more to me as a gangster and 50 Cent could be a clown, now it's starting to get serious, because now he's labeled him as a snitch, and he's like, that's nothing with our generation. We didn't grow up on that word being used so kindly compared to like nowadays, you know, bullying. Like in school, you can say bully back then and you won't get in trouble for it. You say bully now and in school you'll get suspended for it. You get what I'm saying? So it's like it's becoming more like scary with this whole newer generation. So so let's jump right into you, Will. So you already know you're the son of Flavor Flav. So it's like, how was your relationship with your father?
So you know what? Honestly, you know, my relationship with my dad, just overall in general, right now is good. You know what I'm saying? Me and my dad, like any other parent-child relationship. You have your ups, your downs, you know what I'm saying? You're falling out, your goods, your bads. And right now, me and my dad is in a great place. He is
Amen. That's what I'm talking.
Decided to play a supportive role in my career and where I'm deciding to take it in the entertainment industry. And I'm very happy to say that.
And you know what? I'm definitely going to say, like, you know, I love my father to death, R.I.P. to him. But sometimes it would just be like, oh, daddy, you're getting on my nerves. I just feel like you need to back off. But I think a lot of teenagers growing up felt that way. Have you ever felt that moment with him?
Well, you know,
and you know he's legendary. It's different from my daddy. Go ahead.
It is. And you know what? Honestly, you know, you'll see that we say it on the show that my father wasn't as hands-on to where we could get annoyed, because whenever he stepped in and gave his words of wisdom and advice, it's like, okay, Dad's got a word, so, you know. Maybe you might not hurt to listen. Something like that. You know what I mean?
So you know your father had a couple of reality shows, and now he had this whole woman claiming that, you know, her 2-month-old baby is basically by him. Like, do things like that, stories, everything like that, especially in the media and the news, because, you know, they can blow things up and take it out of proportion. Do that ever bother you? Do you ever feel embarrassed by it? Or you like, man?
I'm going to tell you like this. Just growing up as the son of a celebrity, you know, controversy is something that I've always had to deal with from the time since I was like in Michelle's. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Michelle's.
If you're from Long Island,
Nassau
you know.
Road.
If you know, baby. Bounce in the building. Once
We got
again,
the real Bell villain in the building.
You know, once again, you know, my father's reputation and his actions and his portrayal in the media is something I've always had to answer for as his son. So this is actually nothing new to me. You know what I mean?
But you know, growing up, Will, I always used to be like, oh my God, that's Will, that's Flavor Flav.
No, wasn't. Oh my God. Hold on a second. Let me take over for a second, because if you don't know Gina, let me let you know how I know Gina, because in high school, you know what I'm saying, Gina, she was always more mature than the rest of us. You know what I'm saying? Gina was grown, baby, but in a good way. You know what I'm saying? And Gina was always somebody I always looked up to. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I always loved Gina. But you was just so, but you like to be like from your background, you know, you could have been more cocky with it, like, you know who I am. But I'm telling you, you just so laid back, and it's like even now you have this new TV reality show. I'm so proud of you. Thank you.
Like, you know, I feel like yes, this is your time to shine. And even on one of your posts, you were like, all right, maybe I haven't been promoting it how I should have. But you know, I'm on it now. But someone have to say, well, wake up.
Well,
you the man now.
Honestly,
well, you've been the man.
Well, you know what? And I'm glad that you say that about me. And one thing that has always kept me so humble, like you said, I could have always been more cocky with it, but at the same time, you know, we grew up in the same place.
Yes.
We went to the same school.
The
so
struggles
I would never,
was real out in Roosevelt.
ever try to put myself in a position. I always recognized where I came from and my position. So that always kept me humble. I've been working for myself since I was 14 years old, and I was able to get my working papers. I'm a 9-to-5 dude first. This entertainment stuff just happened. Don't get it confused. Do you understand? So that's the reason why I've always been who I've been, regardless.
Well, you putting on for your city right now, because you have everybody rooting and cheering you on. We're so proud of you.
And I'm happy to have you here doing it. Do you understand this platform right now? People are listening to us on a syndicated radio station.
Yes, and we in Madison Square Garden, baby. Roosevelt finest.
And the Garden. Roosevelt did that.
Yes,
Two of Roosevelt's finest right here, baby.
You got that right. You about to make me cry too. Hold on. I'm about to have a moment.
We're going to go back and forth. We're going to see you shed a tear first.
But I know.
We're going to see you really do it first.
Growing up in hip-hop New York, like, how was that whole experience for you? Because you seem like the one that kicked knowledge on the show.
Well, you know what? I wanted to go into it just being myself, you know what I'm saying? And I learned that in TV, it kind of is like an acting job you have to kind of do. So I kind of got better with it as I went along, but the whole experience is just fun. You know what I'm saying? It provides you an opportunity to travel. You meet new people. Obviously, the other castmates are dope. Shout out to everybody that is on the Growing Up Hip Hop New York cast. I would name you all by name, but you know
that's a whole lot of people.
No, it's a lot of them, and I love them all, and they all know Will, and they love Will, and you know I love them all the same.
But one thing I must say, compared to all his kids that's on the show in general, you know, you look like your daddy.
Oh yeah, well, no, between me and YDB.
All right,
because Young Dirty Bastard. Oh my.
No,
goodness.
all right, you got it. Because at one point I was like, hold on, is that old Dirty Bastard right there?
He is a spitting.
Nah, okay, right, you got it with that.
I kid you not.
Well, you got your notification is going off right now.
Well, you know what?
I was like, they like hit me on the radio over here.
Well, you know what? I hope my phone do start ringing because of this interview, because I want everybody to tune in. If you know somebody right now that's not tuned in right now, I want you to tell them, yo, Will and Gina is on the radio right now.
Talk to us nice. Extra 21, baby.
Talk to us nice.
So being, all right, you know, how was it, you know, growing up with, of course, with your mom and, you know, your other siblings that I'm really, really close with? Like, right now, I know they're cheering you on like crazy.
Oh, yeah. You know, you got moms back at home listening right now. You got the family back home listening right now. Where, you know, of course, family and friends back home. And like I said, that was the part that kept me humble, because that is my source of morals and, you know what I'm saying? Basically, my what makes me a gentleman, stuff like that. That's what it's like growing up with mom and a bunch of sisters. You
And
know what
yo,
I'm
you
saying?
got that right. I was gonna say, because you know your sisters don't play now.
Hey, well, my older sister don't play. My younger sister is a different story. You know what I'm saying? My older sister, she an animal, man. That's it.
How was it being around your other siblings? Obviously, that's not through your moms.
Oh, well,
How was that relationship going?
I love it because that's one thing that even when things weren't good between my father and my siblings and us, you know, we always maintain contact with our siblings because that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to make sure we never strayed apart from each other. And just being around each other is funny because the first time we actually shot together for Growing Up Hip Hop New York, one of the producers, she came up to us after we got unmiked and she goes, "Are you guys really that close in real life?"
Yes.
I said,
why wouldn't we be?
We're brother and sister
Yes,
for real.
yes.
You know what I mean?
And I know for you take family extremely serious.
I do.
Honestly. So I know, I always figure, you know, is there any friction between them? Like, do anyone feel any way, or is it just all love between you guys?
Well, you know what? We was raised to have all love, and if there was a dispute, we were taught to just resolve it because we don't want any bad blood between family. We grew up with enough separation from problems and natural divisions caused by adults, us children. We don't want that for ourselves. So,
listen, I'm a baby mama, so I understand it just a little bit, right? I ain't gonna. Well, you know, we definitely gotta have you back, it's normally a finale, like when they do reality shows, they have that one big old meeting. You know, and I just want to say, like, I really appreciate you coming down. We in Madison Square Garden, exit 21, Roosevelt, baby. What's next for you, real quick? We got 2 minutes.
Okay, so you know what I'm saying? You're going to see me developing this up in the show, Growing Up Hip Hop New York. I'm starting up a podcast myself. Yes, I am. And I feel kind of awkward naming the name of the podcast on the name. So similar, but it's called the We'll Talk About It podcast.
Because Will giving them something to talk about, baby.
We'll talk about it.
And when should we expect that?
And so that should be coming out very soon. You know what I'm saying? As far as the content, initially it starts off as the education of the hip hop culture, the early development of the hip hop culture. So I got interviews with OG Kid Frost, his son Scoop DeVille, Lil Easy E. I got one with Chuck Chill Out coming. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get Red Alert. I'm trying to get Ralph McDaniels. You know what I'm saying? Any pioneers in the game that could provide your input to let these artists know the building blocks of how it is that they do what they do and why they do what they do. Technology took us so far that we forgot about the foundation.
Yes.
And we need to understand the foundation of this in order to continue to innovate and take this to the next level. We can't leave it up to technology itself. You got to be able to still count on your fingers and toes,
baby. Still need them clocks, baby.
You still need clocks. Still
you got that right. All right, tell them where to follow you real quick.
Yo, listen, follow me on Instagram, Mr. 326. EST 87. They made me shorten it up. It used to be Mr. 326, established in 87. You can find me on Facebook, Will D, Instagram, Twitter, Will D 326. Holla at me, man. Exit 21 in the building, baby.
I said that website gonna be coming real soon, Will.
Yeah.
You gotta set up for that podcast.
That's right. We'll Talk About It podcast coming soon. Tune in, baby. I'm gonna be launching it on SoundCloud, eventually iTunes, all that stuff. But SoundCloud is where everybody is, so I'm going where the people's at.
All right, shout out to Mr. Will in the building. DJ Quiet Storms, give him something to talk about, baby. Flavor Flav.
OhGeniaBabe.
Need y'all to follow us on Facebook and Instagram, SIHH4Life.
Or make sure you download that app, that SIHH radio app, available for Android and iPhone, or follow our website at www.sihhradio.com.
Talk to me nice.
Let's go.
We gone.